I don't wanna write this down. I wanna tell you how I feel right now.
This is a new series I'm gonna start off right now. I'm gonna go ahead and just do a comparison with the year we're living in right now and 20 years ago. And I'm gonna do other time frames and other years and just show what was popular and going on in that year specifically, and just do a comparison with what's going on right now. Okay, so back in 2000. Okay, first of all, before I start, right now Donald Trump is the president. You know, pop culture right now is very much merged into one thing. Everybody's living under the same pretty much umbrella. All music sound pretty much similar. All clothing look alike. They trying to, if they haven't done already, trying to blur like the line between male things, masculine and feminine. A lot of it is in clothing. You can see that. Um, you know, prices is high as fuck. Um, you know what I'm saying? There's a virus, COVID-19, that's out here right now. A lot of people are unemployed. We're looking probably at a Great Depression, as I seen somewhere. Somebody said, this is a crazy year to say the least. You know what I mean? To start the year off, Kobe Bryant passed away. You know what I'm saying? Passes away just out of nowhere. He died in his helicopter crash, going to somewhere where he frequently goes to. The news seems unbelievable, you know. So this is how the year starts off, and then immediately we're told that there's a virus that's spreading all over the world, and people can't be around each other, so they can't work. So a lot of us ain't working. A lot of us. I think the unemployment rate right now is at 25%, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. All right, so in the year 2000, the president obviously was Bill Clinton. He was a beloved type of president. A lot of urban people like this dude for whatever reason, even though it's a known fact that the Clintons actually created the third strike law to basically give dudes pretty much life for third offenders, you know what I'm saying, for catching, you know, for having a third strike, catching a big case 3 times in a row or whatever like that. They were responsible, the Clintons were responsible for having a lot of African Americans in prison in his, tenure or whatever. So I don't know why people love the Clintons, but they do. The world population in 2000 was 6.12 billion. You know what I'm saying? Right now it's at 7.8 billion. And I'm going to read more into that in a little minute. What things cost? A first class stamp was 33 cents. A gallon of gas, which is like nationwide average, was $1.51. A loaf of bread was 93 cents. A gallon of milk was $2.78. And a movie ticket was $5.39. The minimum wage at that time was $5.15 an hour. All right, right now, minimum wage is, I believe, 12 something. It's barely, if you have one full-time job making that, your checks is probably around 330, 340 a week. It's not that much. Depending on what your rent look like or what your situation is, you probably could barely get by with that. You know what I'm saying? Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is released and sells a record 3.8 million copies. 51 million viewers watched the first season finale of the reality show Survivor. Due to the massive success and popularity of Eminem's Stan, the Oxford Dictionary made a definition of Stan, which is an overzealous or obsessive fan of a particular celebrity. That's crazy as fuck. Eminem is like, that's why we talk about white privilege and shit like that, because Eminem, you know, he'll get to do things and people will get to do things for him that they just don't do for nobody else. Because what the fuck? Like, you take just the title of the song because the song is so fucking big and mighty that you got to put it in a dictionary and create a whole fucking. You basically implemented a word into the English language in a sense from a rapper because he white. Let's be real. I'm not even going to play those games right now, but it's because he's white. Let's be real. There's Nas, that Mobb Deep. These dudes got some of the most KRS-One, some of the most intellectual, you know, songs and created words that got such, strong meaning amongst, ethnic people or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And those songs never really go nowhere. So you wonder, like, why Eminem comes along, make a song, and the title of the song ends up in a dictionary. It is what it is. On the radio at that time that was popular, songs that was popular at that time was Faith Hill, Breathe, Santana featuring Rob Thomas, Smooth, Joe, I Wanna Know, Vertical Horizon, Everything You Want, and Destiny Child's Say My Name. Alright? In theaters in 2000 was Mission Impossible 2, Meet the Parents, X-Men, Castaway, and Gladiator. All movies I personally remember myself. Slangs that we used back then in 2000 was anything from Foshizi, Cray, which is crazy, Peeps, my friends, my peoples, Swag. Actually, Swag is way before 2000 though. But Swag is way, 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 way before 2000. Late, which is goodbye. Sweet, which is beyond cool. Redunculous, ridiculous. And OMG, which is oh my God. And that's not nothing new either, because I know a lot of us would think, oh my God, is from, social media nowadays, but it's not. It's old. And there was somewhat social media back in 2000 as well. It's called AOL. You know what I'm saying? Technology that was popular back then, or what technology was suggesting back then, was that Y2K was going to shut down computers, and it was going to be a widespread of malfunctions in computers, and the spacecraft, space, whatever the fuck they call that, it's going to crash, and all computers are going to go down, and blah blah blah. None of this shit happened. Everything stood its ground, and everything was normal and regular. I remember actually December 31st, 1999. I was watching. It was a fight between Sugar Shane Mosley, and Oscar De La Hoya. I watched that shit that same night with a bunch of bottled waters in front of me and my mother, with the lights off, and one of our friends was there. We was watching this boxing fight and whatever, hoping, praying everything was gonna be alright, and nothing happened. Thank God. All right, so on television, the shows that was popular was Survivor, ER, Friends, Law and Order, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. These were the shows that was popular, at least top 5 or whatever. It was way more shows that was popular. I remember The Parkers was real popular. Moesha was real popular at that time as well. Blind Date was a real interesting TV show. Two people, never seen each other. They go on a date, and the fact that they never seen each other, it's either it go left all the way left, or it can go right. Some of them shits actually turn into real relationships, but most of them went left. All right, so the clothing that was popular in 2000 went from sweatbands, trucker hats, streaky highlighted hair, choker necklaces, velour suits, cardigans, V-neck t-shirts, boot-cut jeans, cargo trousers, and low-rise jeans. Some of that you still see right now, but for the most part in 2020, it's just the category of clothing now would just be strange. Back in 2000, you could see the difference. Now it's just whatever. You know, it's a lot of tight pants out here. It's a lot of unisex pants that's being worn by both sex. And if you ask me, dudes are literally wearing woman pants and they don't give a fuck. I see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? So you see a lot of difference with the year 2000 and 20 years later, which is now. The Y2K actually has comparisons with the virus right now because the Y2K whole nonsense controlled how people was thinking, it controlled how people felt, you know, our emotions, you know, our fear. It put fear in us. It made us run in the stores and bought out a lot of shit. People really did that back then. Ran in the stores and bought out, you know, cases of water, bottled water, whole bunch of food and canned food and candles and a lot of shit. You go in there, you couldn't find nothing. It was like mass hysteria. Same thing with the COVID-19 right now. Mass hysteria. Everybody's scared. Everybody don't want to go outside, even though now they're slowly opening up the states, telling people it's cool to go outside. Like, that's not how fear goes. You don't just snap right out of fear. Fear takes time, you know what I'm saying? If people are still scared, they're going to still be scared. If people were scared 2 months ago, they still scared right now. I still see people right now walking around with masks and gloves on right now. Like, it just started. So, you know, the governor's telling people to go back to work right now. It's not the greatest idea, man. Anytime. But 2020 overall is a sick and twisted ass year. I don't even know if there's a real virus. I know there's something because people are dying. Um, People are dying for real, and I feel bad for everyone who lost their life over this bullshit. Rest in peace to Fred the Godson from the Bronx. I feel bad for him. Real talented dude and looked like a real good dude, according to what a lot of people are saying. And every time I see him, he always look laid back and cool. So, seemed like a good dude, man. Rest in peace to him and everybody who lost their life due to whatever the fuck is going on. So, and 2020 is just one of them years where it just seemed like life just took a drastic change and everything is going to be different from now on, which that difference is not necessarily looking good. It's looking real scary and something we all should be worried about. We all should be trying to probably get away from America for real. You know, um, I said the population in 2000 was 6 point, I believe 1 million, 2 million, or billion, my bad. Right now in 2020, give me a second. In 2020, the world's population is 7.8 billion people right now in the world. And they're estimating by 2030 it'll be 8.6 billion, and by 2050, which is 30 years from now, it'll be 9.8 billion people. This is estimation, obviously, so it's not facts. And then by 2100, they're estimating the world's population to be 11.2 billion people. And of course, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I believe they have a number that they like to keep it around. So they have all these weapons of mass killing to kill people, anything from cancer to AIDS to the virus right now. I believe it's around 90,000 people in the United States. Statistics are saying that died from the coronavirus so far. I don't know if this is worldwide or just United States. I think it might be the United States. I think worldwide it's a little bit more than it's a lot more than that. And this is all planned, in my opinion. Like I said, in my opinion. So you can see, man, there's a lot of difference in 20 years. This world has, especially this country, has went through a drastic change, drastic shift, a drastic shift. Listen to the music, even hip hop. It's just a completely different thing nowadays. Absolutely different. In 2000s, album that was popular was like Ghostface Killer, Trick Daddy, Dr. Dre and Snoop. The next episode, or that album was called whatever. I can't remember the name of the album. Eminem was popular in 2000. Now look who's popular. The Baby. Dudes that just don't really do real original organic rap shit. Rap has lost the organic nature of it a long time ago. These niggas nowadays are not real MC rappers. They're just popular artists. They're pop artists. They sing the music, the rap music. It's ridiculous. They're not spitting. They're not coming from the heart. They don't got no foundation of ill shit. These dudes are just artists. They just watch artists and just want to be artists. They don't really have it from the gut. It's not coming from their gut. It's not in them. And that's what's popular nowadays. Is just people that just wanna people that are just famous for whatever, and they like to play around and make melodies and shit. This is how I term the shit, because it's not actual talent. It's not actual music. And that's what hip hop is nowadays. You see people like Cardi B is popular. She winning awards for best new artist over dudes like Eminem and Kendrick Lamar, which is just fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, this is basically what I want to put y'all on to. Is just to This is a new series, but I just want you to keep intact with how this world is just changing. It's going downhill. It's not going up. It's a change, but it's a change for the worse, because everything is getting worse. The music, the you know what I'm saying. There's way more, but it's less substance, right? Even the population of the world is more people, but it's like, how are we getting better as a world? Right? It's like we're just overpacked, and we're not overpacked. Don't get me wrong, because I don't believe in overpopulation, but I'm just saying in the sense that there's a lot more, but things are not getting better, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just get worse. So that's basically what I'm saying, man. I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in, staying this long. This is part 1. Hope y'all learned something from this, and I'm gonna see y'all in part 2.